Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 421 for Tuesday the 13th of October, 2015. Hello, I'm Robbie. Nice to see you.
Hi, my name's Shelly.
Introducing Shelly, and we will catch up with her after a little bit, a couple of minutes' time. You know, we've got other things to do. Sasha, how are you? I love the look.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. The Washington Post has reported that Chinese police have arrested hackers after the U.S. government supplied them with a list of cybercrime suspects. U.S. computer giant Dell has agreed to a deal to buy data storage company EMC for $67 billion. A man who briefly bought and owned the Google.com web domain has been rewarded by the search giant. There's some shady tax evasion going on at Facebook in the UK, but they claim they've done nothing outside the law. The maker of LastPass, a popular password manager, is being acquired by LogMeIn in a sale worth at least $110 million. 3 British companies have created a device to deter drones from entering sensitive areas by freezing them in mid-flight. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis, Hillary Rumble, Krista Wells, Eric Kidd, and your host, Robbie Ferguson.
Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV. It's episode number 421. I'm Robbie. It's so nice to have you here. And help me in welcoming Shelly De Silva to the show. Welcome. Want to tell us a little bit about you and what brought you to Category 5, what you do?
We wanted to try something new. I've never done this before. Kind of missed the chat room, to be honest. I haven't been on one in forever, is what it feels like.
IRC.
So, yeah.
It's pretty old school.
Yeah, back when dial-up was still a thing. But yeah, I'm just working full-time at a marketing company, and I'm a graphic designer there.
Cool. So what kind of tech do you work with? You're
just graphics. I just do billboards.
Straight up, like Photoshopping
flyers,
and...
Yep, Illustrator.
Yep.
All that fun stuff. So.
Cool. Mm-hmm. You do any web stuff?
A little bit of web.
Yep.
I do a little designing for just some interfaces. So.
Oh, cool. Very good. We'll look forward to getting to know you, and through the course of the show, if there's any ideas that that you have that are kind of up your alley, then it's a good opportunity for us to introduce some of the things that you enjoy doing. And if you have any questions, Shelly is in the chat room tonight as Shelly DS, not to be mistaken for Nintendo DS. But you can ping her there. Cool.
I'll be in.
Ready for it?
I'm ready.
We were laughing before the show. That's what happened there. So tonight we are going to look at an innovative device that's going to do one thing and do it really, really well. The attachment may help reduce headaches. I'm going to tell you all about that. It may help reduce the chance of disease and improve if you experience mental fatigue. It's going to help with that. And this device is available now. We're going to tell you in a couple minutes' time how Oola works for under $40.
I'm excited.
Cool stuff. I'll just refer back to this one here. There you go.
Okay. Category 5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. cat5.tv/TPN and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters as well. We're also a member of that at cat5.tv/IAIB.
Out of the park. All right, folks. Well, get in the chat room if you're not already there. I want to say thanks to everybody who's joining us in the chat room. I see Alpec there and Cal Hydro. Rarab, nice to see you. And also Rob Shad, who is been in the chat room throughout the course of the week, and been fun to hang out with him and get to know him a little better. I see Toby there as well, and greets to everybody who's joining us in the chat room. So, hey, like she says, it's a little old school. It's a lot of fun. Get into Category 5 on Freenode, and it's a great chance to hang out with other viewers of the show as well as us here in the studio. We'll try to keep up as well. So should we get right into it?
Yes.
Some fun facts about water. Water.
You need it.
You
to
gotta
live.
have it.
Yeah.
Common headaches quite often are caused by dehydration.
Yeah.
And we'll go through a couple of little fun facts with you, and a lot of this stuff you're going to say, "Hey, well, I know that." Well, fact is I still don't drink enough water.
Agreed.
I know that I don't. Water improves and accelerates your metabolism. That's always a good thing. I think about, like, I've been trying to do the whole weight loss thing over the past year, to be honest, and increasing my metabolism is a good idea, but also water helps to prevent false hunger, which is that feeling that I need something to eat. You go to the fridge, and it turns out you're actually thirsty. Your body's telling you, I need something, but what do you go for? You go for chips or some
Something
chocolates
else.
or some kind of snack thing. That's not a good idea. You put some water in you, and it's going to help maintain that so that you're not binge eating just
And it
because
says
of that
it
feeling.
helps ingestion or digestion of your food as
With
well.
digestion as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing as well.
Helps break down your food.
Helps maintain normal bodily functions, as you know, and also, true story, helps with mood swings. Believe it or not, drinking enough water helps with mood swings. You've got some actual official stats. Let's talk a little bit about hydration and what it's going to do for us. And my perspective is, I sit at a computer desk all day. I drink a lot of coffee,
Right. Yeah.
not a lot of H2O
How much water would you say you drink in a day?
in a day.
Let's see.
If I was to be honest,
Oh no.
there have been days that have gone by, like 3 days, where I
Ooh.
would say, "Oh, I haven't had a glass of water in
Yeah.
that time."
Like the
maybe a
pure
glass
kind.
at bed. Yeah,
Some-
maybe getting a glass in the morning or at bedtime or whatever. But realistically, sitting at my desk, I'll quite often just have coffee, or sometimes I'll have tea in the afternoon. Something, so maybe that's a little better than coffee for from a hydration perspective. But yeah, I don't drink enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you there. I sit at a desk as well, so I think just being more mindful of that and just kind of getting up every so often to go get a bottle of water is sometimes a little. It doesn't happen very often, or as much as it should.
Yeah.
So,
And it's
yeah.
it's important, isn't it? So maybe we can learn a little bit about the fun facts.
So how much
behind
water should you drink in a day?
I've heard this.
6 to 8 ounces. I don't know how much that is in comparison to a glass.
Well, an 8-ounce cup would be like a coffee. Well, this would be like a 12-ounce.
this doesn't
mug,
feel
I
like
would
enough,
think.
though. You know, for a
Well, you
full
would have
day.
about 8 of these, I think.
Oh, 8 of these.
8 of these throughout the course of the day, which I'd never do.
Nearly not enough.
Do you do
Yeah.
that? When was the last time you had? Is anyone drinking water right now? Just tell me.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8
so
of
our
these.
bodies are made up of 70% water, which doesn't really feel like it. But here's another cool fact. So is the
64%
Earth.
coffee, 6% water.
Oh,
What's
your blood's
this?
a little thick then.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right?
Oh, it's like slug. Anyways, besides water, what else can you consume to stay hydrated? So Robbie said tea helps you stay hydrated. Also sports drinks or fruits. Actually, fun fact, I could not eat or keep anything down at one point because I had an intestinal infection, and the only thing I drank was carrots,
Like carrot
carrots,
juice?
ginger,
Like ground up or whatever?
and orange juice.
Okay.
So I literally lived on that for like 3 days. So it really wasn't water, but I mean, it kept me
You've
alive.
pulled the
I'm
water
still
from.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of sports drinks, energy drinks, things like that, lots of sugar.
Yes.
So when I'm looking at weight loss, I'm having the exact opposite effect there.
Yeah, and high sodium
And
as
putting
well.
a lot of sugar into my system, which is not good. I mean, you're looking at the potential for diabetes and things like that if you're drinking a lot of it.
And it dehydrates you as well, so it makes you even
Really?
more thirsty, which
Yeah,
sodium
that's good.
and the
Oh,
sugars.
right. Yeah.
Goes looking for water, or your body goes looking for water.
A good point coming to us from the chat room that it doesn't have to be necessarily 8 cups a day. Truth is everybody's different. Some people may need more than that. Some people may need less. Guidelines are put into place to basically say, if you target 8 cups a day, that's probably a good place to start.
Okay.
Everybody's different. But if you aim for that, if that's your goal, then it's probably going to keep you a lot healthier than the guy that only drinks coffee all day long and maybe drinks 1 cup a day.
Yeah, they said depending on the weather as well. If it's really hot out, you need way more.
Makes sense. Yeah. Any other fun facts for us on hydration?
Although we can survive a month without food, we can only survive about a week without water. So that's, I guess, in comparison.
It's got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another way you can stay hydrated throughout the day if you're not an avid cup drinker is to sip water throughout the day. So just making sure that you pick up the bottle ever so often. And with me, I don't like water at all. The taste, nothing is appealing about water to me. So I have to make sure I take 2 full mouthfuls of water just to get that in, to know that I'm constantly
You know what I do is
intake.
I'm kind of the same where sometimes water just doesn't appeal to me. So I'll take that you can buy lime juice.
Oh.
And it's pure lime juice, 100%. And you just put a couple of drops in.
You know, anything in water picks up the taste. So
Yeah.
I've cut up watermelon and put it in my water. It tastes like
Yeah.
That's a good
watermelon
idea.
water, and cucumber and water tastes good. Cucumber and a couple of sprigs of mint. It's
Yes.
like a
Agreed.
non-alcoholic hydrating mojito.
We had a
Nice,
question
nice.
about alcohol in the chat room here.
Right.
Wondering
There's-
if there's enough.
Yeah, and Robbie, to speak
Yes.
to your coffee thing,
Yeah.
halfway through the day, I switched to hot water. Right?
I've been doing that too.
So-
Now, do you just drink straight hot water, like boiled water?
Yeah, I drink my water black, as I call it. I don't put anything in it because I'm lazy, but it's really good with lemon. So
Yeah, that's smart. I have been boiling just water to substitute coffee to try to wean myself off of coffee in the afternoon. But I like the idea of just adding a little bit to the water that's pure. Agamotto in the chat room says stick a slice of lime in there, stick some lemon, maybe even some orange slices would be another idea, just to make it a little bit more flavorful. So we're all talking about, okay, that's the
Coffee
importance
is
of
97% water.
There
So
you go.
There you go. You have
so
a-
that's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the effects of hydration, obviously, hydration is a good thing. It helps us to be healthy because we are predominantly water-based. 92% of our blood is water. And for those of us that have, that don't drink a lot of water, you might find, hey, your blood pressure goes up.
Yeah.
Well, because the viscosity of your blood goes thicker.
Oh, that
So
already sounds wrong.
It's wrong, right? So it's really important for our health long term to have enough water in us. What are the effects of dehydration? Headaches,
Yeah.
mental fatigue.
Yeah.
We've got a list here.
Constipation, dry mouth.
No tears when crying. I found that one kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
And obviously would lead to some pain as well, I would think, because that's kind of the body's way of keeping your eyes feeling good.
and hydrated.
Dizziness or lightheadedness. And if I'm working at a computer and talking about fatigue, working coding and thinking, oh man, my head is just like
It's a throbbing. Yeah.
and you're just not even a headache necessarily, but even just the dizziness and not being able to focus on your work by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I've been finding that water's been helping me to do that. So what we're looking at tonight, there's some fun facts for you.
Yeah.
And I hope we didn't leave too much out. But, I mean, you can research it. I'm going to put some links. We've got some great articles from familydoctor.org. There's
be
another
skinny,
one.
be happy. Is that another
Yeah,
one?
and we've got they've got an excellent infographic there about the effects of dehydration on
Yeah.
the human body.
The whole body.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much water really makes a difference. It's so crazy as I'm realizing this because you'd think it's obvious, but yet here I am. I still don't drink enough. So we're looking at a product tonight that quite literally, simply makes you drink more water. Let's just fix your microphone here, just because I know that it's being problematic for you, and so we apologize for the rustling there. Does that feel good?
Yep, that's better.
Okay.
There we go.
We'll figure it out. Ula is a product that actually just attaches to your water bottle, and you'll
There it
see
is.
that it's actually flashing right now, and that is telling me that it's time to drink some water. It's such a simple idea, but when you think about it, I will have a water in front of me and I'll still forget to drink from it. You'll pour yourself a glass of water, or maybe you don't even pour yourself a glass of water. By sticking ULA on your bottle or on your cup, your cup of water, it simply just catches your eye out of the corner of your eye so that you know that hey, it's time to have a drink. So every half hour it reminds you, okay, pick up your bottle and have a drink.
Had a drink.
And you'll see it's still flashing. Well, in order to turn it off, to stop it from doing that, all I got to do is pick it up, have a drink.
Simple as that.
And set it down. No longer flashing. So it doesn't bug the other people in my office. They don't even know that it's there. Out of the corner of my eye, I was surprised because the first couple of days I was using it, I thought, oh, this isn't going to catch my eye. But in your periphery, that little LED just blinking there in a pulse really does catch your eye, and then you pick it up, and it works. So I've gone from, like I say, maybe a maximum of 1 cup of water a day to having a drink every half hour with ULA.
Yep.
So it's got to make a huge difference. So I'm anxious to see what that does for my health. Should we look at how we use it? I mean, it's the simplest thing in the world.
Yeah, sure.
So this is ULA, this little guy right here. So all I've done is just clipped it to the side of my water bottle, but it does include a strap as well. So if you want to put it on anything, it basically takes any water bottle and makes it into a smart water bottle. Sasha, could you show us your water even? Just, there it is. I mean, it's just a store-bought bottle of water with ULA on it. And even that is going to work just fine. So this will it'll turn any bottle or glass into a smart drink. So I can just clip this onto here, and that flashes and lets me know when it's time to have a drink.
Neat.
Sounds like such a simple thing, but it really does work. And knowing the impact that drinking more water is going to have on our health, not just short term, like weight loss, but also long term, when I think about the diseases that are prevented by being well hydrated on a regular basis.
Yeah, it says it keeps your kidneys hydrated. It filters. It helps filter them better.
Yeah, it must. What other, like, there are diseases that are caused by dehydration?
There's my mom has multiple myeloma, or she may, and one of the symptoms was dehydration, and I thought,
this is a symptom.
Yeah, so dehydration is one of the, or causes, I guess.
Oh, a cause of the...
Yeah, so now she has a cyst on her kidney because I guess it's not filtering the way it should. So, yeah, dehydration was one of the causes. So I was like,
okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can be avoided by just keeping hydrated. So this is such a simple device, and what we can do is it actually has a CR2032 battery, which we're all familiar with. That's your BIOS battery, right? And you can actually just pull it out and change it. I know you can. Do you have nails?
Yeah, I do.
Can you get that open?
Here we go.
There we go. You need nails. So it's just, that's as simple as it is. We've got a CR2032 battery in there. To change it takes 2.2 seconds. There you go. Done and done. And we're done. So, and that's going to last a long time as well. So you can check this out. It's cat5.tv/ULA, and it is ULLA.
ULLA.
Just like that.
Yep.
So cat5.tv/ULLA, and you can be able to pick up one of those. It's so simple, but it really does work.
Yeah. We're such creatures of habits. It helps remind you.
It really does. It's making a difference for sure for me. So check it out. That's right, Agamotto. ULLA. Thanks, Rev D Jank, and thanks everybody in the chat room. Check it out. Well, we've got viewer questions that have come in for us tonight, and I know we're going to get touching on those. And if anyone has any questions for me, go through, just let Shelly know in the chat room. I'm going to put this on the strap. It's a little easier for me. This is Category 5 Technology TV. You'll find us online, www.category5.tv. Make sure you participate in the community. We've got the chat room there. And, of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can subscribe to our various channels. We're on YouTube. You can get us on Kodi. Go to github.com/cat5 to download our Kodi plugin. And we're also on Roku. If you've got a Roku device, just subscribe to the Category 5 TV network channel. Do you have any questions for me coming in? Thanks for sending in your questions, everybody. You can email us live at category5.tv, or again, just get into the chat room and we're there. I don't have to wait for the timer to go. You can have a drink and it resets it.
Oh, you're talking about Oolong?
Yes. Yeah.
No, we're mentioning a lot of alcoholic beverages that have water inside, though.
The water content of vodka.
Of vodka,
Yeah.
whiskey, there's beer. What else do we have here? Got a bunch of stuff.
That's the way the chat room's going to go. You can put Ula on anything. I think that kind of isn't the purpose.
How do you reply to someone?
Just down at the bottom there. This is old school IRC, eh? Yeah, there you go.
Just hit out.
You can type /
Quick Android question,
Yeah,
Robbie.
just type- yeah.
From REV DJ.
Rev D Jenk.
That's it.
Hey, yeah.
Depends on device. Does one need to unlock bootloader to use alternate ROM in an Android phone?
Do you need to unlock the phone in order to change the ROM? It depends on the manufacturer. Like if it's an official ROM. Is GWG in the chat? Because he operates the Android Buffet podcast. And I recommend that you check out their website, androidbuffet.com. They're going to be able to help you with all that kind of stuff from a more technical perspective. But you would need to you'd need to root the phone if you're going to replace it with something that's not official. If it's
Okay.
officially supported, then you would be able to install it just as any other firmware kind of thing. But
Yeah, we're having some. People are asking as well. Well, answering his question as well. So
oh,
he's
well,
saying
there you
thank
go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And any questions come in by email at all?
Let's check. Question from
Very good.
TOBO.
Rev D Jenk, good job.
My computer's old and I have been upgrading it slowly, and so far I've replaced the graphics card, and now I can get dual monitors and upgrade the DVD drive, and I was considering getting an SSD. What are your opinions on SSDs? I was going to get a... Actually, we can answer that first, because I think...
Got a couple, like a
Yeah,
two-parter?
it's a two-part question.
Solid state drives versus hard disk drives, the spinning drives. Solid state is a hard drive that is completely chips. There's no spinning parts, so they're much, much faster, as you know, Toby. These days, they're quite reliable. So if you want the speed, here's the toss-up. If you go with a solid state drive, you're going to get less capacity, but you're going to get much more speed. So a good example would be our broadcast server here. We used to use a RAID 0, so we had multiple drives to try to get the best possible speed out of the system. We replaced that RAID 0 with a single SSD, and it's a good SSD, a nice fast one, but it is faster than the RAID 0 that had 4 drives in it. So the speed is astronomically better, but the capacity is much lower. So dollar for dollar, gigabyte to gigabyte, or terabyte to terabyte, it's much more expensive to go SSD. So you need to use strategies to figure out, okay, well, can I store things on a NAS device? Can I put them on a server versus having to put it all on my computer, for example? So those are the things that you kind of take into account.
Okay. Neat.
For your OS, it's going to make a huge difference. There was more to that one?
Yeah, I was going to get a SanDisk 32 gigabyte.
That's small. 32 gigabyte?
And I have a home directory on the terabyte that I have just installed. What would I need to know about SSDs? I know you can't do a swap partition in case it shortens its lifespan, but what else would I need to know? Thank you, and P.S. I switched my monitors to a very small one, and now your head is stuck in my panel. Haha.
Nice.
I can't get it out.
Head panel. Cool. Okay. 32 gigs is too small for an OS, guaranteed. You got, I mean, realistically, and with the price per gigabyte, I would start at 128 gigs. These days, it's probably just the way to go. What you need to look at when you're looking at it is the speed of the read and the speed of the write versus what you are going to be doing. So if I... Here we go. Oh, I don't have any on the shelf here. I wish I did for you, Toby. SSDs are measured and sold showing the speed of the read and the speed of the write. So if it's for your operating system and all your programs, then the read is the most important because you're not actually writing a whole lot of stuff. Although if you've got a temp folder, but as you know, as you've already stated, it's probably not a good idea to have that on the SSD. The speed is going to impact the way your computer operates. So if you get one that's super fast read and really slow writes, it's going to really crawl every time you save something. So you could open it in Photoshop, boom, it's up on the screen, but then you make some changes and you hit save, and it takes forever. Not really, but there's such a significant difference. So I always aim for something that is going to be about equal read and write, and I aim for anything over 500 megabytes per second, and that's going to be nice and screaming fast for your OS and for saving stuff. Looking at your temp folder, where you want to store stuff on a temporary basis, I would look at making sure you have lots and lots of RAM in your computer. So you would, if you've got 16 gigs of RAM in your computer, set your temp folder as a RAM disk of that RAM so that any temp stuff goes into your RAM, knowing that as soon as you shut down your computer, it's all lost because it's temporary. But it's going to be screaming fast, and it's going to save those constant read-write operations happening on the hard drive, which realistically these days you're not going to probably kill a hard drive just by having your temp folder on it. They're good enough and solid enough now. Garbage collection is important, so make sure it has that feature, but everything does these days. So I can't say I could imagine a hard drive being sold without garbage collection these days. So these are all concerns that were a concern 3 years ago, but not so much anymore as long as you're buying a modern drive. But so good luck.
Robbie?
Yes.
I had a comment from last week. Toby had said, and I wasn't able to add it into the show, but I wanted to just bring it up. I guess it was about a malicious ad that was going around, and he just wanted to warn everybody that it looks like is it BSOD? Is that
Blue screen of death.
Blue screen of death from Windows 98, and at the bottom it has a number and audio that comes up saying your computer is infected, please call this number. And a lot of people are falling for it, kind of like phone scammers. So he just wanted everybody to know. I took a screenshot of the conversation.
Oh, fantastic.
So there we go.
Can we talk about that for a brief moment, Shell?
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered that kind of thing?
Blue screen of death?
The fake malware versions of Blue Screen of Death. Have you ever
No.
seen that? So, and this is becoming more and more common. I get lots of calls from customers who say, hey, I think my computer's infected or whatever. Here's the thing. There's this advertisement, and this is just one particular instance, and we've talked about social engineering before, phishing scams, ways that hackers try to trick you as a user into providing information. This particular one, as Toby mentions, was it's a full screen advertisement, right? Like a pop under or a pop over, and it looks like a blue screen of death. However, it says, call this number to get your computer fixed.
Right.
Well, because it looks so real and because it's happening on your computer and it makes you nervous, you tend to pick up the phone and call that
And
number.
give them your information.
It's a toll-free number,
Right.
and you call it up and you say, I got this pop-up on my computer, and they are all professional about it. And well, we'll take care of that for you.
Right, yeah.
What we need you to do is go to this website. We have a special tool there from Microsoft that's going to help us to remedy this situation for you. We'll connect in and get that solved, no problem. And so it's unfortunate that they're preying on individuals, and largely it's obviously going to be people who are not really that savvy when it comes to social engineering scams. And so they trick honest, hardworking people into providing access to their system. So then they get in. They install stuff that allows them to then remotely control your computer while you sleep and monitor your credit card information as you enter it into any online stores, whatever they want to do. You've basically authorized them to have access to it. Your antivirus doesn't protect you from it because it's not a virus. You have given them that access. And so it's dangerous and scary, but it goes along the same lines of all the phishing scams and all those trickeries that are out there that try to get you to give up information.
I got one today at work from Microsoft Outlook saying that my email was hacked. And if I go to this
Oh, yes.
website, then it'll fix it for
And
me.
of course, the email comes in. It's got Outlook branding. It
Yeah.
looks completely
Everything,
legitimate.
yep.
Yeah,
Extensions and everything.
We've had to lock out your PayPal account, but
Yeah.
click on this link and we will reactivate it for
Right,
you.
yeah.
You click on the link. It looks exactly like PayPal. So you enter your username and password. You just gave your username and password to
Yeah.
that hacker, and it goes for any bank.
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep trying.
By chance, would an ad blocker help to, like, things that pop up like that? Would an ad
email?
blocker sort of help the blue screen of death thing that Toby was
It's
talking
a tough
about?
thing, because this is one of the things we touched on
Yeah.
when we were speaking last week with AdZerk, is that we are going to be tempted to install an ad blocker in a situation like that because it's going to protect us from that particular kind of malware. And it can be just an ad. It could just be a piece of trickery. It's all social engineering, right? So it's just an advertisement, but it pops up in such a way that it looks like, click OK, and and sometimes there's a voice that comes on. Your computer is infected.
Yeah.
This is
Shut
it
it.
freaks you right out. Yeah.
No.
But it's just an ad up until that point, until you take action, right? Mm-hmm. Until you fall for the social engineering tactic, it's still just an ad at that point, because those don't tend to. I mean, there are ones that compromise things like Flash and JavaScript and things like
Yeah.
that. But these particular ones are really just tricking you into proceeding with what they want you to do. Call this number. Mm-hmm. So be careful, folks. And if you need a hand with that kind of thing, or if you ever have concern, you know what? Even get into our chat room. If you receive a social engineering thing, or you suspect that it is a phishing scam, you could email it to us, forward it to us live at category5.tv. I'd be happy to review it for you, point you toward documentation that shows whether or not it's legitimate, show you how to determine whether something is social engineering, or get into our chat room, and our chat room would be more than happy to help you as well.
I think we have a question.
Well, we're going to have to jump over to the newsroom. Sasha's like, yeah, it's my turn to talk.
She's excited.
And then we'll come back with more of your questions right after this.
All right, it's Tuesday, October 13th, 2015, and here are the stories we're covering this week. Hackers in China have been arrested at the request of the U.S. government. Dell is buying EMC, and if it all goes through, it's going to be the largest acquisition in history between two tech companies. From the "oh my gosh, I can't believe this is true" files, a college student owned Google.com for about a minute last month after a flaw in their renewal system allowed him to buy the domain for just $12. Facebook says it operates within the rules in the UK while paying less annual tax than a single worker on an average salary. Time to watch the pricing very closely. LastPass is being acquired by LogMeIn. And a new anti-drone device will jam the radio signals of the operators and freeze a drone in mid-flight. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
You've got mad skills. Now hone them. Learn new skills or improve your existing ones with online video tutorials and training from lynda.com through our special link at cat5.tv/Lynda. Learn software, technology, creative, and business skills you can use today to help you achieve your professional goals. Join today and start learning. We'll give you this chance to try it absolutely free with unlimited access to all of the courses. Sign up now for free, cat5.tv/Lynda.
I'm Sasha Dermatis, and here are the top stories from the Category5.tv newsroom. The Washington Post has reported that Chinese police have arrested hackers after the U.S. government supplied them with a list of cybercrime suspects. The hackers are believed to have stolen research and development information from several U.S. firms. The arrest came shortly before Chinese President Xi Jinping visited the U.S. for talks, partly about cybersecurity. The U.S. and China have regularly swapped accusations about who is behind the cyber attacks they suffer. Quoting their sources, the newspaper said that the stolen trade secrets and plans were passed to Chinese firms that are rivals of the U.S. businesses which were hit. Some of the recipients are believed to be state-run organizations. The arrests are believed to be the first China has carried out at the request of the U.S. And I guess this really blurs the lines, Robbie, between countries and I guess a lot of times you're in sort of a bubble of security if you're in China, right? You have to be arrested in China, even though the crimes you're committing are against the people in the U.S., right? So, because we don't have any jurisdiction over there in the cyber world, do we?
Well, I mean, other than the embassy and things like that, I don't see how we could. But at the same time, okay, if we're working together and if there's going to be a perception that we're working together, then I guess the government has to kind of step up and say, okay, well, if this can be proved, I hope that they're proving this stuff.
Right.
I'd hate to see people being charged just on America said so. Like, I hope that there's investigation going on, and I'm sure there is.
Yeah. This sort of sets a precedent, though. Now you can't just hide sort of in your own country attacking other countries in the cyber world. So it's good. U.S. computer giant Dell has agreed to a deal to buy a data storage company, EMC, for $67 billion. EMC shareholders will receive $33.15 per share, $24.05 of that which will be in cash. If approved by the regulators, the deal would be the biggest in history between two technology companies. Falling demand for PCs meant Dell is looking to expand into more lucrative businesses, and it has identified data storage as a key growth area. Michael Dell says, our new company will be exceptionally well positioned for growth in the most strategic areas of next-generation IT. EMC boss Joe Tucci said, the waves of change we now see in our industry are unprecedented, and to navigate this change, we must create a new company for a new era. Mr. Dell will be chairman and chief executive of the combined group that Dell said would be the world's largest privately controlled integrated technology company. The deal is going to take some time. It's expected to close sometime between May and October of next year. Wow, good job, Dell. A man who briefly bought and owned the Google.com web domain has been rewarded by the search giant. An administration oversight allowed U.S. student Sanmay Veed to buy the right to control the domain on September 29th. The oversight left him in charge of Google.com for about a minute until Google caught on and canceled the transaction. Now Mr. Veed has been given a cash reward for spotting the error, which he's decided to donate to charity. Mr. Veed is currently an MBA student at a U.S. college. In the early hours of September 29th, he noticed a for sale sign next to the Google.com name while browsing sites on Google's own website buying service. How lucky. He used a credit card to pay the $12 fee to grab Google.com and got emails confirming that he was the owner.
Wow.
Almost immediately, he started getting messages intended for Google's own web administration team. This was followed by a cancellation message sent by the website buying service, which said he could not take over Google.com because somebody had already registered it and his $12 payment was refunded. Now, it has emerged that Mr. Veed has been given a bug bounty by Google's security team for revealing the weakness in the domain buying system. The internal emails Mr. Veed has received while in charge of Google.com have been passed to the team. Mr. Veed has decided to give the cash to an Indian educational foundation, and after hearing this, Google doubled the reward. I will tell you that the real reward in this is now this guy at every first date and every business conversation, he can always say, yeah, I owned Google. I used to own Google.
For 1 minute, granted. But I did. It's true.
I would put that in bold on my resume. I would cancel everything else on my resume. It would just say my name and previous owner of Google.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Wow, what luck. I wonder what the reward was. Good for him donating it, but wow. All right. Facebook has insisted it is complying with the law in the UK despite paying just £4,327 in corporation tax for the whole of last year. The amount is less than the average UK worker who, with an annual salary of £26,500, would contribute a total of £5,393 through income tax and national insurance. According to the company's accounts, Facebook pushed itself into operating at a loss of £28.5 million in Britain, following a payout of more than £35 million to staff as a part of a share bonus scheme. The scheme meant Facebook's 362 UK staff members took home an extra £97,790 each in 2014. I hope they're hiring. I'll apply. Pushing their total paycheck to an average of £210,614. The payouts, along with a profit base in Ireland, meant the firm was only liable for a small tax bill for the year, despite registering revenues of £105 million. A spokesperson for the company said, "We are compliant with UK tax law and, in fact, all countries where we have employees and offices. We continue to grow our business activities in the UK." The company pointed out that it was taxed on their profit figures, not the amount of revenue that they generate in the UK, and argued that all of its UK staff paid tax on their income, including the money they received from the share bonus scheme. I feel like scheme being the operative word in this. This is very clever, Facebook. Well played.
Clever and dark.
Wow.
Like, come on.
I would like to work for Facebook, it turns out. I would like to specifically work for Facebook in the UK. They get mad cash.
$200,000?
Not dollars, pounds.
Pounds.
That's like
Even better.
Yeah, that's like times 2.2 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What?
I think that might be miles to
times
kilometers.
10 these days.
Yeah. Wow. All right. The maker of LastPass, a popular password manager, is being acquired by LogMeIn in a sale worth at least $110 million. LastPass, founded in 2008, makes software that generates strong passwords and stores them in an encrypted vault. The software integrates with desktop and mobile browsers and automatically fills in password fields on a website when a user enters a master password. The basic software can be used for free, but individual users and businesses can pay for premium features. LastPass CEO and co-founder Joe Segrist wrote today that his company is excited to join LogMeIn in delivering the next generation of identity and access management for individuals, teams, and companies, with LastPass at the forefront. Segrist wrote that LastPass will continue to improve its software for free, premium, and enterprise customers. Segrist's blog post drew a few dozen comments, with most expressing disappointment about the sale and criticizing LogMeIn. While I congratulate the LastPass founders on a nice exit, we will, as enterprise users, monitor very carefully if that impacts the pricing, one customer wrote. There is a reason we never use LogMeIn, because they're not delivering appropriate value for SMBs at their price points. LogMeIn provides remote desktop management and software support for individuals and businesses. The company discontinued a free version of its service product last year. LogMeIn's announcement said it will close the deal with LastPass in the coming weeks, paying $110 million in cash upon the close, with an additional $15 million in payments to equity holders and key employees of LastPass, contingent on reaching certain milestones and retention targets in the 2 years after the acquisition. So it sounds like if they take this company and for some reason the sales drop, then they're not on the hook for the $15 million.
Oh.
Right?
Keen observation there, Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I use PasswordBox, which I assume is sort of a similar
nature to LastPass, for sure.
Right. So, I mean, maybe if you're not happy with the transition, that's a route you could look at. It offers a pretty stellar free service with the option to get a premium package.
Yeah.
All right. 3 British companies have created a device to deter drones from entering sensitive areas by freezing them in mid-flight. The Anti-UAV Defense System, or ODDS, worked by covertly jamming a drone signal, making it unresponsive. After this disruption, the operator is likely to retrieve the drone, believing that it has malfunctioned. The system joins a host of recently announced technologies which can blast larger drones out of the sky. A drone flying in sensitive airspace can be detected by the ODDS radar and then sighted via a camera equipped with thermal imaging capabilities so that it can be targeted visually. Then a high-powered radio signal can be focused on the drone, essentially overriding the connection to whomever is operating it. According to the manufacturers, the whole process takes as little as 25 seconds. And I confirmed with you earlier, Robbie, this is like a radio signal that only would disrupt the drone communication. It wouldn't be.
And I'm sure that, I suppose they're talking military drones and things like that are really the concern, stuff that's carrying a dangerous payload. Mm-hmm. When I fly my drone, which is a camera, sometimes I can get interference. And if I get interference, now my drone, I lose connection from my controller to the drone. So here they're forcibly removing the connection between the user's controller and the drone. Right. So they would lose the ability to control it, but also the operator would probably not be line of sight flying, so they'd also lose visual.
Oh, okay.
So they lose that visual connection to it.
Is there a safety feature on drones? Like when you lose connection, does it safely and slowly fall to the ground? Or once they zap it, does it just plummet like a meteor to
when
the
we
earth?
had, I don't know if you recall, when we had Henry Bailey Brown on the show from Aerial Support Air Photography, or Air Support Aerial Photography, he talked about the fact that the higher end drones have a GPS system. And that GPS system is used not only to control the drone, but also so that if I lose connection, it can come home to me, which is to return to the controller. It may just hover if it loses connection so that you can get up to it. So the GPS system is going to keep it flying in the case of these higher end drones. Something like my drone, which doesn't have a GPS, it's much lower end, would just probably crash. It would lose connection to the controller, and whatever I was doing when it last connected, if I was flying right, it would just keep flying right and eventually just go down.
Well, let's hope that they don't target yours.
Yeah, I don't think that I have to worry about that. Yeah.
Big thanks this week to Sparkly Balls and Roy W. Nash and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us. If you found a news story that you'd like to send, email it to newsroom@category5.tv. For all your tech news with a slight Linux bias, visit the category5.tv newsroom at newsroom.category5.tv. For the category5.tv newsroom, I'm Sasha Dermatis.
Thanks, Sasha. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Welcome to the show. I'm Robbie Ferguson.
Hi.
Shelley De Silva. She's new here, so
Newbie.
If it takes her a moment to introduce herself, you know why. I got some questions came in. This one comes to us on YouTube. Kazu DV says, what's the name of the mic that you use? And then we got a question here from Dal Watson, Dal W, on Twitter. It says, hey, Robbie Ferguson, what's the make and model of the wired headset microphone that you use in this video? So I said, well, we've got, we use hardwired. We use XLR adapters. We've got the compressor and exciter that is all available through shop.category5.tv. If you go there, you're going to find links for it. His last question, Dal Watson. So that to answer your question, Kazu DV, as well as Dal Watson's first question. We've got links to these mics. These are the Apex 575s. We've got these on, if you go to shop.category5.tv, categories are on the right. Go to studio equipment, and you'll see the mics. And what I was saying to Dal W there is that you have to go through a compressor and an exciter to get the sound that we get. So if I get louder or if one of us is quieter, it's going to automatically level things and make it sound good. So then, because we're hardwired, we go into these packs that are, so this is an Audio-Technica AT8539. This is a little phantom power pack that is powered by our mixing console, but it converts this thin little wire that's made for these wireless headsets to convert it into XLR. That's how we do it, because then we don't have any interference. And we're fairly stationary anyways. If you want to go wireless, though, these headsets are compatible with, your Shure systems, and it comes with a bunch of cables to make it compatible. We went with the Audio-Technica XLR adapters because it makes sense for us to go directly into a console. So. And what I'll do is I'll put these packs as well, the XLR converters, into that shop link. So by the time you see this, it may already be there.
Neat.
So, interesting that two of yous in two different areas asking the same question. They do sound great, though, don't they? Real good. Close proximity makes a big difference, too. Even with cheaper microphones, it's and these aren't cheap, but I mean, even with a cheaper headset, you're going to get better sound than, say, a shotgun that's on the camera, because it's so close to my mouth that it picks up really well. And you can see tonight Shelly was having some trouble with it, like snagging and stuff, and that's partially because being your first night here, we've got to find the, you know, what when they're very flexible, so we just have to bend it and find the perfect placement for it. They also come with a thing that goes behind the ear. Maybe that's something we could try, and it adds another hook on the other ear, so then it gives it a little more added support. Yeah. Oh, and my water's flashing.
There we go. And there you have it, kids. He's using his bottle.
See how I wasn't even looking over there?
I didn't even see it go.
Works.
But
Ula works.
We have a question.
Do we have a question? All right, let's do it. Let's get right into it. Thanks, everybody.
I'm currently trying to do what you discussed in your broadcast. However, your broadcast made me aware of cons I didn't know about. It's the 2945, a standard for all DSLR cameras. So
this is DSLR related? Okay.
Or just the T2i. I just purchased the Rebel, I believe it's called. Is that the same? Is that the same, or has something changed since your video? If there's a good DSLR option, please advise.
Oh, is this from way back when we, I think somebody loaned us a T2i or something like that to look at, could it be used for broadcast? Since then, and I don't remember everything that happened in that particular review. I think we had some trouble with getting a good, solid, clean HDMI output.
Yeah.
Since then, we did DSLR for Wirecast on linuxtechshow.com. If you go there, do a quick search, that's going to take you to YouTube. I'll show you how to do it. DSLR for Wirecast shows us using the D5100 from Nikon. It's a cheaper, and I wouldn't say entry level, but it is fairly entry level as far as the price goes, camera, but it's interchangeable lenses. It comes with a nice kit lens, and by hacking it, we're able to then turn it into a video camera. So it's what we're using tonight. I don't know if you can tell that the quality here live is actually quite good. That's the D5100 hacked, running HDMI into a Magewell card. It's important that you get Magewell, versus we also tried Blackmagic Intensity Pros, because we were looking for something entry-level cheap. Then I tried the AverMedia Gamer HD Pro or something like that, HD Gamer anyways. And it also didn't do it for us. Problems have to do with that perspective, the aspect ratio of the video coming off the DSLR. The Magewell cards allows you to correct the aspect ratio. So it's a little more expensive, but it's definitely worth the investment if you're going to be doing live broadcasting and you can't post-produce stretching or fixing the video. Go to linuxtechshow.com, and that's going to take you to a special YouTube channel here. And here you should find it, but if we go into search and just type in DSLR, and you'll see DSLR for Wirecast Part 1 and Part 2. And those two are really, really important for you if you're thinking about doing this. That's using a DSLR camera for any kind of broadcast. Well, I say for Wirecast, but realistically it's for any PC doing live broadcast. Also, another thing for you to look at is theshowshow.tv. That's a show that you'll want to subscribe to. That's one of our broadcasts. I've done one episode so far, and we're going to be rolling out a lot more and working on a very, very in-depth series on hacking a Nikon D5100, how to procure one, how to get the best deal, how to save yourself some money, how to turn it into a video camera, how to make it so that it's powered up for the entire 2-hour broadcast and you don't have to worry about burning your sensors and running out of battery life and things. Adam doesn't have to change batteries over there because he's on we've hacked an AC adapter into the battery compartment.
It's a good setup.
So it thinks it's got a battery in it, but no, it's actually plugged in. So there's all this kind of stuff to look at. Go to theshowshow.tv and subscribe to that on YouTube, and you'll be happy about what you see coming up. Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. Got more for me?
Let's see here. We got a couple people heading out. They're snoozing. They're going to bed. Sorry, they're not snoozing at the show.
the
They're
late-
going to bed.
late
Yes.
nighters.
Yeah, sorry.
We're covering all the world. Let's take a look at, while you're looking for that, let's look at, okay, well, if you're going to bed, guys,
Let me clarify that.
map.cat5.tv is a fun little tool to take a look at.
neat.
This is going to show you where people are watching from tonight. So, yeah, I guess some of you it's getting pretty late over there in Mongolia. Yeah, I would think so. But welcome to everybody who's watching from all around the world. Get onto our website,
Welcome.
category5.tv. Nice to see so many people from pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Australia, we've got a lot of you watching in Australia and New Zealand as well. It's been a while since we've looked at the map. But this
That's
is
really neat. I've
real-time
never
view.
seen that before.
And lots of people watching in Japan tonight as well. That's awesome.
Neat.
South Korea, not quite as many people watching in North Korea tonight.
They have a really bad internet connection, I believe.
Yeah, I hear that
It's a
their
vacant
internet
land.
is a hit or miss. Yeah.
Is there we have another question here.
All right, fantastic.
Is there any Thunderbolt support under Linux?
Yeah. I haven't done it. So, what are you looking to do? But yes, it is part of some of the kernels for sure.
There's a question from Dooley the Volca as well.
All right.
So it says, Robbie, can I run Unraid 6 on a system and boot having it use and control a USB 3 external hard drive while still having other hard disks in the system that I do not want to change or use in the session, as a way to try it out on a fast, large hard drive that I can spare the space on?
Okay.
Does that make any sense to you?
Are we trying to boot from?
Yes, boot having it use and control a USB 3 external hard drive.
I see the question here. Dooley the Volca
Yes.
in the chat room.
Yes.
I'm thinking it's the Vulcan. Is it the Vulcan, Dooley? Did IRC cut you off? Because it's so old school, you can only do so many characters and then you get cut off. Robbie, can I run Unraid 6 on a system, boot, having it use and control the USB 3 external hard drive? Okay, so, yeah. Still having other hard disks in the system. Oh, that I don't want to change or use. So can you try out Unraid? Set up an array using external hard drives, get a feel for it, connect to it, use it, and not touch the OS of the main system that's already in there. Yeah, because when you first boot up Unraid, it gives you a list of all your hard drives. So depending on the version that you've got, so say you've got Unraid Pro, it's something like 20 some odd drives you can have mounted. So you would select the external USB drive as the one that you want to add to the array. You need to have at least 2 drives to have parity. That means if one fails. Are you flicking your hair in my periphery? Is that what you're doing?
I went, pew!
Yeah, all right.
Sound effects.
So, yeah, it could be done for testing only. I wouldn't personally trust using external USB drives in my array officially, permanently, because someone could accidentally unplug one on a live array. That would probably not be a good idea. Worse would be if someone unplugged 2. That would be even worse. So I like to put everything in such a way that it's built in. But yes, you could do that. But be very, very careful. But Unraid does prompt you. But when you first add the drive, it's going to want to pre-clear it. A very time-consuming process if you have not pre-cleared it. Because it's an external drive, you could take it over to another Linux box, use Joe H's pre-clear script, which you'll find in the forums, and use that to pre-clear that USB drive before you connect it to that computer. And then that way you can just mount it and it's done. So if you go to mount one of the internal hard drives that you don't want to wipe and it says, hey, do you want to pre-clear? Well, no, because that's going to wipe every sector. And what it does is it does like a stress test on the drive to make sure that it's going to be reliable in your array.
Neat. Never knew that.
Remember that if you use an external hard drive, it's going to be quite a bit slower. So the pre-clear process could take a long time, especially if it's large. I wouldn't do it with like a 3 terabyte or something. If you want to do some testing, start with like a 500 gig, nothing more than that, because it's going to take a lot of time to pre-clear if you're just playing around. That's all. Thanks for the question. Hope it helps. Yeah, just to try it out, absolutely. But you can boot up from the OS Unraid on a USB flash drive, anyways, and just see what the interface looks like. You can connect to it through Samba or CIFS, and you'll see the flash drive, and you can open it. Yeah, if you want to have at least 2 drives in the array if you want to really test it, start dropping some files on it. Neat thing about Unraid too is that Unraid as well, I should say, is that because the drives are entirely independent and parity is on a parity drive, not striped across the array, you can unplug that external drive, plug it into your computer, and all the files are there that were on that drive. Not from the entire array, but from that particular drive. So so it makes it really easy to move data from one system to the next and things like that. So pretty decent.
We have a second question there.
Oh, good. Sound Pro 69. I don't even get a chance to pre-read your question, so this is where I get. Is there any forum resources to get help with Linux driver issues? For example, can I find a programmer whom I can pay to write Linux drivers for device, provided I send them the hardware? Holy cow! Do you have a device that are you manufacturing something and you need somebody? I'm sure there are resources for that kind of thing, but I think where you could look is get involved in some of the communities that are doing DIY stuff like Raspberry Pi or Arduino, and see what those guys and gals say about this kind of thing, because they're probably more working with that kind of stuff, making hardware work. But certainly some of those DIY groups would be helpful. RevDgenk offering the Free Software Foundation as a resource as well. Thanks for that. So I can't believe it, but we're right out of time. Did we cover everything? Get it all?
I think so.
She thinks so. So that's the show. So nice to have you here. And it's going to be a lot of fun over the next little while, getting to know you and introducing you to the community. Make sure you say hi to Shelly. Pop messages to us at live@category5.tv. And thank you for being here. Next week, of course, is like Back to the Future Day. So we're going to be here looking at some of the tech that might have been a hit and some of them that might have been a miss as far as what they foresaw for 2015. So don't miss it. Take care, everybody. See ya.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Category 5 TV broadcasts live from Barrie, Ontario, Canada every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this on demand or through cable TV, check out the local show times in your area at category5.tv and find out when you can watch live and interact in the community chat room. Category 5 is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.